Hello guys, Tops here. Today, how does taunt work? So, unlocks the taunt skill, which costs 4 action points, 15 fatigue to be used or makes an opponent take offensive actions instead of defensive ones and attack the taunting character over another potentially more vulnerable ones. At least that's the theory. So taunt. It is a perk that is normally used on tanks, and so the idea is you send a tank guy with a shield out there, then he taunts enemies and tries to make those enemies engage the tank. Which, that works sometimes it doesn't. And that's my huge issue. I don't like this perk and I basically never use it. It's nice with Necro Savant store, but most of the time it gives you area of control, and there is like a use case where you have a brother with shield and a spear, you spear wall and you taunt and you try to fuck up the AI. So it's for people who know exactly what to do with AI manipulation, right? The thing is, taunt is just like a brother, like an opponent might charge your brother, or he just charges something else. So like the AI has the possibility to ignore you. It just makes it more likely that the AI will attack the brother, right? You can also break stuff like shields walls with that, because like the AI tends to not use defensive skills and use offensive skills, whereas like your shield guy. Yeah, but like my biggest problem that I have with that is like it costs 15 fatigue to use and 4 action points, and the AI can ignore it. So granted, I'm not an expert on this skill and I tend to not use it. I don't like it that much. Let's say what Sturtle has to say. He says it's a good control guy. Yeah, in big battles, struggles, you know, has to compete with other strong skills. That's true. Normally my tank, my average tank wants to use 15 perks. None of them is taunt. So yeah, that's my problem. And here we have the base mechanic. Yeah, they get taunted. Yeah, will be wasted on opponents that have waited. Will prevent from warriors pushing and unhold throwing. So in that case, it is something like an early indom to a certain degree, right? But just works on like maximum 2 enemies. Like if you are surrounded by triple orc warriors, indom just works for everybody, right? Because you become immune to stuff. Prevent skill, shield wall, riposte rotation from being used. Yeah, and here's kind of the downside: will not prevent the skill's use unless the targets are engaged with the taunt user. Yeah, taunting an unhold 3 tiles away, fighting a different bro will not stop the unhold from throwing. The taunt will have no effect in this case. So again, taunt is like a perk that you have to play, in my opinion, a lot around with, and then you kind of have to manipulate AI. But like, I think if you understand how this perk works, you can make a lot of use out of that. There's also like a build where like you to take like a fast adrenaline nimble tank and you rush the Hexen and then just taunt the Hexen and fuck up the AI. Well, yeah. And here, yeah, let's read this. That's important. Like understanding the AI nuances does not work on Hex, does not work on Beastmasters, does not prevent Brick Nachos from swallowing you. Downside there. Yeah, taunt may be ignored. That's like my major downside. Just will be ignored sometimes. Don't prevent Ifrits from combining. Okay, will encourage enemy to engage in a taunts user zone of control. Yeah. A unit like Necromancer Priest will not jump into your zone of control because you taunted him. And a non-dump enemy will not jump into your spear wall. So, yeah. So, it is another utility. So, yeah, again, like, I think you can achieve similar utility with stuff like spear wall, where you just orcs and barbarian chosen, and like smarter AI, they respect the spear wall a lot of the time. So if you have a tank and you walk him forward 2 tiles and then you spear wall, the AI will walk around this tank. And so you basically, and then you can walk your tank 2 tiles to the left and spear wall, and the AI will walk around him again. So you basically, to a certain degree, can manipulate AI behavior with stuff like a spear wall. And if you have a tank outside with like a shield wall and you fight like these big orc fights where you are outnumbered 3-1, this tank will get swarmed anyway by opponents. So that's that. And again, as I said, like a lot of the times, like it gives your tanks more control, but I want to have so many defensive perks on my tank, and I never have enough perks for my tank. And having Taunt on my tank is usually the perk that I say, nah, I don't use this. This is too specific for me. I just want to have more defensive stats and capabilities to take my or let my tank be alive. So I tend to use my tanks more as solo operators. I just want them to be super tanks. I throw them out there, and they have to defend themselves basically when they get surrounded. They have to tank that, right? And if I give them taunt, it's probably more like the tank that is closer to the team, that doesn't have a lot of backpack shields, like that has more fatigue to spare, that has more utilities. There's always a banner range, so you can skip stuff like Fortified Mines. So yeah, so if you have a utility tank, I know there are some people like to build their utility tanks with rotation and taunt, and then you have like a utility tank that plays with the team and maybe throws some bombs on the opponents, that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, but against Saxons you can control Charm Bros, Anti-Displacement, Anti-Ifrit, Anti-Necrosavant, Anti-Polam. Yeah, so there are use cases for that, but most of the time I cut it out because I don't think the use case is worth it. But some people love Taunt, and I don't think Taunt is a bad perk, so you can try it out, make your own experience. But I think this is one of these perks where you have to play around a lot in order to understand the limitations of these perks and what you can do with it and what you cannot do with it, and in what kind of way you can manipulate AI behavior. Alright guys, I will link you Turtle's Guide down below. Please write me in the comments how you use Taunt on your brothers, and thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye bye.